All right. Sorry about that. Okay. Let's go.
They say it's darkest before the dawn. We've been in this town for far too long. They say it's darkest before the dawn. We're moving on, we're moving on, we're moving on. Sunset, no regrets. First chance, last dance, stuck in the middle, even that. No good love. You taste so sweet, it hurts a little.
We are gonna watch part 83 of this Christian doc. Oh my gosh, my voice is even worse than normal. Holy shit. Alright. Go here and pull it up, and then we'll get on with it.
Follow the words and sing along. Pass the voices to the song. They say it's darkest before the dawn.
There we are. Alright. We are not doing police chases right now. $83, that's wild. That is just so fucking wild. Alright, why does it say I watched any of it? I have watched 0 of it. That's weird. Anyway. Oh, look at him. He's a good looking dude. I guess he changed his profile picture or something.
Was fascinated.
It's more fucked up.
This is the story of Chris Chan.
It's the something of Chris Chan. It's very Better Call Saul like, because as you go through that series, the opening, the intro gets more and more fucked up. It's a nice little touch there. Part 83.
On March 15th, 2021, video game reviewer James Rolfe, also known as Angry Video Game Nerd, uploaded a YouTube review of the Nintendo Game Boy Color game Shrek Fairy Tale Freakdown, based on the DreamWorks animation Shrek. The video also features dramatized skits involving members of the channel 3GI, who had previously organized collaborative recreations of the films Shrek and Sonic the Hedgehog, both of which featured Christine.
Really?
During one skit, a character is seen wearing a Shrek medallion.
I don't remember watching this, or do I? I don't know. We might have to watch this afterwards. This one actually isn't that long. It's only 38 minutes.
Reminiscent of the style of what Chris Chan had produced. In one shot, the medallion's reverse side is seen to reveal that it was signed and supposedly created by Magi-chan Sonichu. On March 16th, over into the
Wow.
Play's Discord
Okay.
server, Christine talked to the Watchman about her most recent masturbation session.
Right.
I have been awake for about 2 to 3 hours.
I just woke up at around 2:05. I don't want to hear about Christine Chandler's masturbation session this early in my morning.
Now.
But here
My
we
body
are.
was giving me a signal that it was horny again. I hate having a penis.
Yep.
Self-masturbation is really arduous and annoying. Another 15 minutes down the drain. I was born the wrong physical gender. I can't say I hate it, even though I want to, because my body has got me in a fucking box over how the rubbing feeling is fair and good. Only mildly enjoyable. I deserve better than this in that department. Ugh. Meanwhile, in a private channel to which Chris had no access, the Watchman discussed ousted member Anaxis and his supposed continuous influence over her, when in fact it was Christine who had sought him out after losing trust in the Watchman, seeing Anaxis as the one true channeler of Lane Chu and not the recently appointed WCT. For several hours, the Watchman schemed how to manipulate Chris back into
At this point, this deep into the lore, I don't even know what the fuck is going on. Like, I can follow barely, but as to give an explanation to any of this and who these are, because like I know about his early life and everything, all up until about when whatever her name is, Janky, Elizabeth Janky or whatever, started coming along, and I know she's a piece of shit, like probably one of the worst people on the planet. But then we start going into dimensional merges, and then I get just as lost as everyone else.
Trusting WCT's Lane Chu by telling her that the Lane Chu in the place was the true Lane Chu currently in dimension SD49, a dimension that was previously mentioned in passing by Christine herself. When WCT as Lane Chu messaged Christine with their drafted script, she elaborated in length that his insistence to have Chris ask another resident of SD49 to confirm his information only further confirmed in her mind that he was an imposter. When asked to demonstrate further of his knowledge, WCT, with Watchman Nova's help, sent her a detailed description of the supposed planet on which Lane Chu currently resided.
As of right now, I currently reside on the planet Sanctuarion, where the population of 46,194 OCs, the original characters, are currently on the run or threatened by the chaos from their respective dimensions. Capital's Ecumenopolis, named after the physical or philosophical concept of a city that encompasses an entire planet or is almost entirely vertical. What the fuck? Really? Those two things are like wildly different. The technology is around 1950s level. Industry is still expanding, and we're using the skill sets from other dimensions to bring about this. We're largely self-sufficient, owing to your initial resources of staffing given. So far, everything is going well, and we're working on future efforts to decide how to start ramping up operations. Really, 1950s level. And they have an entire planet or a city that covers a planet. Interesting.
Feeling conflicted, Christine then privately asked Anaxis if he still currently had access to Lane Chu and if he could provide details about the character's whereabouts. Anaxis had been given screenshots of the Watchman's schemes to discredit Anaxis' efforts by a publicly unknown insider, and so quickly concocted a scenario with which he would reply to Christine, in the hopes of retaining her trust. Anaxis wrote that he did indeed still have contact with Lane Chu, who was currently in Dimension X51 on the planet Dexium, studying among the Whisper Travelers, who researched a plethora of subjects which included interdimensional travel and portal creation. The Travelers
in this 1950s technology level
sought to open a portal to C-197, and so Lane Chu was there to learn from them with the aim of bringing back the technology to Christine. Christine deemed it a good answer. She further explained that the new channeler for Lane Chu attempted to explain his link with Lane Chu, but his spiel did not resonate with her. Chris said that the facts that Anaxis wrote to her resonated with her more so, and had allegedly further verified it, allowing Anaxis to be the one true trusted channeler of Lane Chu. Chris then expanded that she felt Nova, or Kyle, was masterminding the ploy behind the imposter Lane-Chu, highlighting that her seeing through the deception was due to her improving claircognizance.
Plus, as Magi-chan and I had foreseen in the months' time over the past year, Kyle's science and logic were proving lacking on certain tangible and intangible details. His knowledge, as high as it is best directed towards the project that he has manifested under his own abilities and powers that work well and above his present comprehension. If he had meditated, as he said, he didn't do so deep enough. His plans and project at the present are on good progress. Okay. And will not fail for the time in which they are required for these set of events, and then beyond the merge its fullest completion. But after some time, 1C 21 1987 has been brought back again by the reunion of 1218 and C197. Kyle's project will be destined to fall apart, and everyone will have to return to their own respective homes and escape pods and so on. Those have been chosen to stay behind post-merge, that is. I will talk with Kyle about this sometime later on. What the fuck does any of that mean?
Or the psychic ability to know things without clear explanations.
Sure.
Meanwhile, on Twitter, the account Picchu, run by enabler Helena G. Ferenza, who posted art and comics concerning her original character, Picchu, in addition to Chris-chan and other Sonichu-related topics, posted a 4-panel comic, which caught the attention of Christine. She quote-tweeted it, using it as an example to ask why so many people often brought up older versions of herself and think that she was still the same person as during the height of trolling more than 10 years prior. Chris claimed that it was not her anymore, and that she had woke, matured further, and knew a lot of things better. She explained, I, Chris-chan Sonichu, am more insightful. I actually can tell the differences and not be deceived.
See, right now, they haven't gone through the second transformation of becoming the Jesus Christian Weston Chandler Sonichu Prime, the third reincarnation of being the Avatar. What the fuck is going on?
So easily. I am more experienced than I was back then. I have literally traversed dimensions, timelines, and universes to get my priorities and emotions better together, and to ironically quote myself from long ago in one of my upset shouting rants, get it through your damn thick skulls already. Lightning bolt, blue heart, lightning bolt emojis. Even my main self-counterpart, chronicled in my books, has gone through similar maturity and emotional evolutions herself. Okay, please?
Wait, what the fuck? My main self-counterpart chronicled in my book? Are they talking about the version that he drew, or they drew themselves in the comic? I think. I don't know.
On March 17th, Chris tweeted that she was reminded that the date commemorated 21 years since he discovered/created Sonichu, celebrating the occasion by posting a Twilight Sparkles secret chipfic folder card depicting Sonichu. On the 18th, Christine offered an interdimensional update to the Watchmen, but also practically dismissed WCT's Lane-Chu, saying that the Lane-Chu within Anaxis resonated more with her. In response, the WCT seemingly abandoned his Lane-Chu roleplay, and instead, through private conversations, began roleplaying as if he was from Dimension W2000, a place where Earth's popular culture was predominantly of Asian influence, and where the people tended to be more violent. Kristen allegedly force-projected to W2000, where 2 of its occupants had constructed dimension barrier-breaking swords. She sorted out the issue before returning to the chat. WCT also elaborated that a 60-foot-tall bronze statue of Christian from the year 2009 stood in W2000's version of Quickville. When discussion of a new dimension spread to the place, the WCT explained to the Watchmen his efforts of manipulation, which also apparently included concepts of the EGS, or Ember's Ghost Squad, a troupe of characters conceived by deceased mass shooter Andrew Blaze, about which the WCT had made an extensive YouTube documentary.
Who is it? Who the fuck is this person? He's got a shitty first name, that's for sure. 1992, Andrew Blaze, American store clerk. 20. You know what's shitty about this? We have so many goddamn mass shootings that I don't. it just probably got lost in the fold of like everything, and I don't even remember it, and that's so fucked up. Victim, Weiss Markets, 3 victims. Yeah, that's so
documentary
fucked up.
series, and who
Like,
had
even on my
allegedly briefly
part.
taken possession of Christine's body. The Watchmen largely did not object to WCT's actions, though one member questioned whether his tales would have any adverse effects on Chris's grip on reality. The WCT wrote that
I
since
think
Chris's
we're
mental state was so far gone,
yeah,
one might as
we're
well
way
have fun with
past
it.
that.
Others
at this
tentatively
point.
agreed that even though his actions were not the best, they did for the time being turn her focus back to the Watchmen. On March 20th, Christine wrote on Twitter that she was working on a new short comic called Workaholics Anonymous, inspired by the YouTube series of the same name created by notable My Little Pony-focused creators like Dr. Wolf. The opening page features
Okay.
Chris Chan Sonichu
Jesus
performing a
Christ.
stand-up comedy routine in which she admits she is a workaholic. In the forthcoming tweets, she requested that the comic panels were to be animated by MLP creators like Dr. Wolf and Lightning Bless, both of which had blocked her on Twitter years before, and offered to submit her own
Russ Polish, like Dr. Wolf and the crew to put some to all of these into video form. Okay. Honest, direct, and even funny at times. I'll personally record and upload voice clips for the dubs. I consider this a formal request. If you would kindly accommodate me, please. Thank you all. And yes, there will not only be a few fourth wall breaking moments. I'm a hard-working goddess. It's part of what I do at times, and of course, a lot of digressing.
voice acting recordings to them. She then posted 2 pages of uncolored panels of Chris
There it
Chan
is.
Sonichu's set, which largely concerns her goddess powers
Again, I have to bring it up every time. Nobody's here. That's okay. How can you do this for, I believe it's 21 years, and gain no skill in it at all? That's fucking amazing to me. That is amazing that you can do something. Probably, there's the 10,000 hour rule. If you do something for 10,000 hours, you're going to be like a master at it. Yeah, okay.
and references to another MLP creator, Jasper Pie, who had also blocked Chris.
No.
She goes on to talk about her abilities and faults, and closes by writing that it takes her 15 tedious and tiring minutes to masturbate, questioning whether this method of stress relief was worth it, before digressing. In response to her posts, a Twitter user asked Christine if she could truly call herself a workaholic if she didn't have a
Yeah,
job.
that's true.
Chris responded, "I do have a job, dipshit. It is
Dipshit.
literally called being a literal goddess and protecting as many of your sorry hides from the casualties of the Dimension Merge. In progress. You are welcome, even though you're not as in-depth as I, and a bunch of us are." During this time, Christine
Oh
and
my God.
Anaxis were in discussion to arrange a YouTube livestream that would feature her mother, Barbara, answering curated questions submitted by Chris Chan fans. Chris continually told him that the livestream would be done soon at an undetermined date.
He doesn't blink. That's it. Like, the eyes are like a fucking deer in a headlight.
But the stream never took place, and hers and Anaxis' conversation slowly disintegrated down to a largely one-sided string of messages from Anaxis asking her for an update. Also in the later half of March, members of the Watchmen schemed inviting Lolcow Alexander Yahans, also known as Farshnika, into the server,
Never
with the
heard of
aim
him.
of, according to Maker Nightv, having 2 tards playing pretend in a controlled environment.
There's a lot of very mentally unwell people on the internet who are still stalking me.
During these private discussions,
Yeah.
Christine went to the place to ask for their help in a supposed murder investigation of a 14-year-old girl who was murdered on the beach that Chris was encouraged to examine by Magichan. The Watchman asked her relevant questions, and at the end,
What
Chris
the
concluded
fuck?
that she needed to gather further
Another. What the fuck?
details to prevent a future murder of someone she knew personally. Maker suggested that Christine could seek the enlightened guidance of the Farshnuka, though she was not greatly invested in hearing from him, suggesting Maker contact him herself. and the planned interaction between the two lolcows never took place. On March 25th, Chris believed that the likely future murder victim was located either in California or Virginia, with the possibility that it would be her former friend, Megan Schroeder.
Oh my
She
God.
instructed the Watchman to provide her with some extra defense. She had also told Joshua Moon, or Null, to have Megan's
that, that, that is the face of a person who doesn't know how she got where she got and is rethinking her whole life. I've been there. I am there.
defenses increased. The Watchman in response tried to dissuade her train of thinking by assuring her Megan was well protected already and did
Just
not need to be
leave the poor girl fucking out of it. Oh my God.
informed of her
Could you even
possible future
imagine?
murder taking place. Privately, the WCT shared with the Watchman that he was inspired by the Idea Guy manipulations and planned to expand on the lore of Dimension W2000 by telling
yeah.
Chris that
There
her
it is.
counterpart there was still in his classic form. WCT considered merging it with Dimension SD49, where their version of Lane 2 resided. Nova, or Kyle, questioned that idea as it was messy and difficult to maintain plot consistency.
I don't know what this lane chew thing is. Like that. I mean, I've been watching. I don't know. That came in, and I must have just like had the information hit my face and roll off of it because it's clearly like a very important part of this clusterfuck of a story.
WCT further wrote that W2000 was a test to see how Christine would handle the introduction of Islamic concepts into her worlds, which she apparently liked, because according to him, she liked
shit.
quote-unquote shit. Shitty shit. Shit. Ultimately,
Okay.
Nova told him not to go through with it, as Christine only had her lore to hold on to. On March 28th, in response to a Twitter user asking Helena Fiorenza to depict her character Pikachu having sex with Christian Sonichu, Helena, through her Pikachu account, wrote that Chris had friend-zoned her. Christine replied that they could be friends with benefits if she so wished. Helena, in response, drew Pikachu strongly recoiling from Christian's advances, rejecting her proposal. Also on that day, while driving the family's Dodge Caravan, Christine backed into a truck trailer, denting the van's back door and breaking the window. She quickly replaced the window with duct tape and plastic covering.
As you do.
Chris and Barbara learned it would take them a few weeks to have her door repaired, hoping against hope, according to messages sent to Maker, that she would get at least $20,000 to buy a new car. On March 30th, Barbara was served with a lawsuit by LVNV Funding for unpaid debt, with a court date set for May 19th. In the last hours of March 31st, in anticipation for April Fool's Day, Christian, a comprehensive history creator, Geno Samuel, changed the titles of all the videos.
She must have had a lot of unpaid something. They don't. Normally, you don't. Like, lawsuits take a lot of money to do, so like the weighing whether it's good to put that much effort and time and money into something like going to court versus like what they owe. She must do a fuckload of money.
Thus far to Donald Trump, a comprehensive history.
Oh,
Likewise,
God.
all the YouTube video thumbnails were altered to reflect a supposed long-form Fool's Day.
Wait, what?
In the last hours of March 31st,
Okay.
in anticipation for April Fool's Day, Christian, a comprehensive history creator, Geno Samuel, changed
Himself.
the titles of all the videos thus far to Donald Trump, a comprehensive history. Likewise, all the YouTube video thumbnails were altered to reflect a
Man, that is a lot of work for an April Fool's joke.
supposed long-form documentary on US President Donald Trump. Christine messaged Geno over Twitter direct messaging to ask whether the change was a joke in relation to April Fools. She revealed that she was feeling genuinely and fully rather horrified and most offended by the change. The modifications were reverted with the coming of April 2nd.
Okay.
On April 3rd, a Christian follower from their car
they
took
have-
3
oh,
photos
shit,
of a
look,
sullen
there it is.
Christine driving her damaged van. On the 5th, Chris privately messaged Maker Nightfee to write that she had a dream featuring the adult version of Christopher Thorndike, the main human protagonist of anime series Sonic X, to whom she felt very sexually attracted, as he was almost as handsome as Magi-chan and almost had sex with him. After waking, while she played the Nintendo Switch game Tetris 99, Chris fantasized about having sex with Chris, as if she envisioned an alternate universe in which Thorndike could choose to have Christine either in human form or as a Sonichu. She closed by telling Maker that her body was very sex-starved. On April 6th, Chris posted on Instagram a close-up drawing of Magi-chan and accompanied it with some reflective musings. When I look into the eyes of a original or fictional character, I do not see fiction at all. I see a full living being and individual. I see a friend or lover in few cases. I see a soul amongst coexisting others in our neighboring universe, or as some call there, which is Universe C-197, the fifth dimension, as opposed to here, Universe 1218, being the third dimension.
There's so much wrong with that. And chief among it is the clear laid out tellings that our mental health system is so fucked up beyond imagining because a person like this is running out in the world and they truly believe this.
On April 10th, Christine wrote a reply to a tweet from YouTuber and artist Project SNT, or Courtney, who posted about her birthday with a photo of herself. Chris commented that she noticed her pink aura as well as some blue for calm maintenance and grounding. On April 12th, Null advertised his upcoming run of Kiwi Farms branded silver coins for sale, noting it could take 3 months for all the orders to be completed. He also revealed the finalized design of the coins, which featured
Wait, what did it have? This person is selling coins of Chris Chan's molester, groper, pervert, sex offender, felon, stalker of underage, barely legal girls whose only goal in life is sex and toys and sex. And did I mention sex? How is this legal? Okay, acceptable. This needs to be boycotted.
the orders to be completed. He also revealed the finalized design of the coins, which featured an illustration of Christine from her profile wearing a tiara, her Sonichu catchphrase, "Zap to the extreme," and the inclusion of the puzzle piece, a symbol of autism. He noted that Chris was not particularly pleased with her depiction. Null wrote on the forums that Chris would be compensated with several of the aforementioned coins, in addition to recompense by some other means, suggesting he would pay for future car repairs. From April 12th, Christine began performing readings from tarot cards in an effort to see into the future of several people. She read for and wrote reports for Knot and WCT, based on the drawings of 6 tarot cards each during her reading sessions. Bismuth, or Knot, was told he would become a leader who would speak up on certain topics, but had to stop drinking coffee to activate his inner powers. The WCT was told he would have to rest in anticipation of upcoming events and challenges, and was declared a messenger who had the power to bring harmony and balance between peoples of all genders. After being shown his supposed future, the WCT continued to chat with Chris, wherein they discussed the powers he could potentially attain. She revealed that she had also done readings for Nova, Maker, and her mother Barbara. Chris predicted that her mother would become a teacher who would share her knowledge from the universe and cosmos with everyone.
Yeah. That's
When
gonna
asked
happen.
If her future partner in
You think
Dimension
her mother
1218 had been
Well, I have had worse teachers than probably what her mother would do. Oh, Jesus.
prophesized, Christine
Poly
wrote
marriage.
that she had seen 3 possible individuals to choose from, but would keep their identities a secret until after one was chosen. WCT asked Chris to elaborate on how Barbara was feeling, to which Chris replied that she mostly kept to herself in bed, but still got up sometimes, with her mental abilities improving well. On April 15th, Chris wrote complaints to various Twitter users who wrote tweets praising the upcoming MLP series and movie, demanding that Hasbro renew Friendship is Magic for another 5 seasons. Meanwhile, Chris's Etsy store launched meditation stones and pouches of gravel taken from her driveway, allegedly blessed by her, which came with signed certificates of authenticity, selling for around $45. On April 22nd, she shared her Twitter
Or some
announcement of the
rocks.
rocks again, adding that she was strengthening her aura through meditation. In addition, she used her so-called gate crystal to attract an energy vortex around the temple, or her house. She encouraged people to have an
God
open
damn.
mind and buy her magic stones and gravel, which purportedly contained a bit of her powers and energy towards enlightenment. At around that time, an anonymous poster on 4chan wrote a supposed update on the upcoming animated show Smiling Friends, produced by Adult Swim and created by Zach Hadel and Michael Cusack. The post concerned Zach's apparent inclusion of Christine Weston Chandler in the show
shit.
as a voice actress, playing a character bearing a striking resemblance to her. However, Chris's parts had apparently been removed after the showrunners found out about her reputation.
Oh,
When
really?
asked over Twitter about the update, Zach denied the story
Amazing.
and art were real, claiming it was fan art done in his style. On April 24th, Chris found on the website famousbirthdays.com an article about herself, accompanied by her birthday and a brief biography. She noted on Twitter that the site did not include a photograph, so she posted a new selfie, which the site should use. Also on that day, Chris wrote in length in the place about finding one's spirit animal, or an animal which protects an individual and may embody their personality, before discussing numerology, or belief that numbers in one's life can hold aspects of future predictions or self-discovery, showing the Watchman that she was reading a book on numerology
God.
written by Hans Dekos and Tom Monty. On April 26th, Christine wrote on Instagram that she had received her stimulus payment from the government meant to alleviate financial strain caused by the COVID-19 pandemic,
yeah, we're
which
in
amounted
COVID
to
territory now.
$1,400.
Yeah.
She revealed that she had used some of it to purchase a 3-month subscription to the Crystal Council, a subscription service that sent its patrons crystals and rocks, which amounted to $165.
Jesus
She
fucking
displayed her two
Christ!
buffalo
Why would you
figurines,
do
which she
that?
had thus far received from them. On April
It's fucking rocks.
28th, Christine
God
received her
damn.
first dose of the Pfizer-produced COVID-19 vaccine, while her mother received her second and final dose.
Oh
On
my
the final
God.
day of April, Chris invited members of the place to join spiritualist and Patreon creator Molly the Medium in a paid so-called virtual healing circle, which Chris would be attending as well. WCT thanked Chris for the invitation, but Nova called Molly's practice of having her followers pay for supposed spiritual healing ethically bankrupt.
Yeah, that's true.
On May 4th,
I mean, it's all
Chris
bullshit
challenged
anyway,
her
but,
followers
yeah.
to upload a photo of themselves in which they looked like both a romanceable video game non-playable character
Oh my
and as a
gosh.
video game final boss. She posted her own contribution to the challenge in
is.
the form
There
of
it
a new
is.
drawing of Christian Sonichu wearing blue undergarments
is.
and a blue negligee, while posing seductively as she is coming out on a stage, noting to Christorians that this image would be included in a Google search of the term Christian sexy. This caught the attention of a certain Twitter user who retweeted the tweet with the message, "What?" Christine responded with an animated gif of model Kate Upton in a seductive pose, and the reply, "Yes, what? What comes to your fun little saucy mind at this juncture, little lamb of the trollish?" Her new drawing also inspired one of her followers to post their own
Jesus
recreation of
Christ.
the picture, hoping that there would be more to come from Christine. Chris replied that the artist did good work, despite the lack of quills on her back. She also expanded on her positive
Can't
body
have that,
developments.
yeah.
"I have been working with my body in better self-love. We've removed all the negativity and toxic vibes from the past relationships, and such with the fakers and haters. And our rebonding work also included sex exploration, so been
course.
feeling my improved oats, so to speak. I definitely would have figured out and found myself a lot sooner had I not been abused with a number of cock and asshole images shoved into my screen, my late websites, and shit from said haters and fakers. Do not push on anyone who is still in their own soul-searching and self-evaluation developments. It is not only most uncouth, but degrading, like spanking a baby after it was
Oh my
just being
gosh.
born."
Don't they do that to make sure, like, it's alive or something? I don't know.
But again, I've recovered myself and included my present mentalities and improvements in that to set my boundaries. The few of you all had your respective chances, but taking advantage of my kindness, good nature, and naive
Yeah, the
mentality at
kindness,
the
yeah.
times, did all of you, nor I. any positive flavors at all. I am a literal goddess, and I shall no longer be privy or prone to such shenanigans against.
Oh, I'm sorry. Says the doctor would hold the baby upside down and slap its butt softly to stimulate it to cry to take its first breath on its own. The upside down position would help in draining out the amniotic fluid. Interesting. I was way off.
Against my own will and intentions
Fair
again.
enough.
I know my self-worth throughout not only here, but throughout the multiverse as well. That is all for now. Lightning bolt, blue heart, lightning bolt emojis.
Yep, there it is.
On May 9th, Chris posted on Facebook a lengthy message for Mother's Day, detailing that everyone's mother or motherly figure went through a life before one's birth, and celebrated Barbara with 4 photos of her throughout her life, including a new selfie featuring herself and Christine.
Jesus.
On May 17th, Chris received her second and final dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, posting a photo of herself with her vaccination card as proof. The next day, in response to a new promotional image featuring the main characters of the upcoming My Little Pony series, she wrote angrily and falsely that the Generation 5 series was cancelled
What the
and that
fuck?
people should
Why do
stop
they
talking
not
about
like
it.
the
On the
I don't get it. Why don't they like this? I mean, it's fucking My Little Pony. I'm not. I think it's really fucking weird that guys like it, but whatever. I'm not there to say who can watch and not. But like, what the like? Why? Like, why? What's the antagonism towards it? Because it's like 3D or something? I don't know.
19th, Barbara's debt repayment case was given a continuance until July 14th. Also on that day, one Don Lacham, a follower of Christery, self-published the book Warhol, Christian, The Lifespan of American Pop Culture, or The Suppression of Reality, a 600-page study examining the parallels and divergences between Christian and 20th century artist and producer Andy Warhol. The book's front cover was a parody of the album cover for the Velvet Underground and Nico's self-titled debut album, which was an illustration of a banana made by Warhol. The book supplanted the banana with a pickle. Furthermore, the top of the album cover's banana was labeled Peel Slowly and See, as the original album was released with a removable banana sticker that would reveal a peeled banana underneath it. The book's pickle was labeled Mount and Dooney, alluding to the video Chris had made to his hypothetical sweetheart, Jackie, in which he displays his skills in cunnilingus. The next day, Chris wrote a lengthy Facebook post, opening with the revelation that she had just retouched her Sonichu medallion with some new paint and epoxy covering, showing her audience a picture of what it currently looked like.
I think this is the same medallion that we saw recently with in the Keffels interview, because it's already starting to accumulate waste. I guess I don't know the best way of saying that. But they applied new paint, so look at the wonderful paint job.
She further wrote that she got the vaccine not only as a precaution, but also a formality, in contrast to her previous claims that the pandemic would be resolved through good hygiene maintenance, and that her supposed goddess body was immortal, and so did not require to be vaccinated. She elaborated in length on the importance of becoming spiritually aware in preparation for the oncoming dimensional merge. On May 21st, Christine used the Twitter voice recording feature to post a recording of herself vocalizing in falsetto for 11 seconds.
They need to put this at the end of everywhere at the end of time. You know, like when the person dies or whatever, this should have been at the very end, you know, to cap it off. And he has to play all of it too.
On May 24th, Chris went to Twitter again to let her following know that she had taken note of the new Warhol Christian book, intrigued by the comparison, but also not pleased by the pickle on the cover. If given the choice,
can you peel? Hold on, can you peel the pickle off? Well, I guess that wouldn't make sense, would it? I don't know, maybe there'd be like a big cock under it or something.
A collage combining both Warhol's and her own art pieces on the front cover instead. She further expanded that she felt—
I'm gonna be honest, I've heard of Andy Warhol. I don't actually know what his deal is. Like, at all. I'm too stupid to know, apparently, or I don't know. I just never came across
that
it.
based on the pickle and Mountain Dew Me reference, the
Mountain Dew
book
Me.
would refer to her more sexual escapades.
Oh my god.
While she admits to her previous mostly troll-induced sex acts, she reflects that she has matured since then and rathered not the first impression of a study about her be of sex, since Chris was a lot more than the sex and whatnot.
Of
She
course.
commented that Geno Samuel did a fine job of allocating appropriate photos.
Oh, he's an artist in film. Okay, I should have known that. And he died a year after I was born. All right. That like unironically, I would actually like to read that book.
Of her for the thumbnails of his Christian A Comprehensive History YouTube series. She closed by reiterating that she would not want a book about herself to be labeled with sexual imagery.
Why?
The
She talks
following
about it
day,
all the time.
Christine wrote a long Twitter thread after learning more about Andy Warhol, finding similarities between their personalities and
Oh, here it
creative
is.
efforts.
They're a master now. It's like whenever like a new comic book movie comes out, like Marvel, like everyone in the whole fucking goddamn planet has a PhD in whatever character, what obscure character that whatever movie is based off of. Because they took like 20 seconds to read a Wikipedia article and now they're like know everything about it.
26th, she received her copy of the book and placed it in her self-printed jacket, featuring her own artwork for the book sleeve, starring a mix of photos of Warhol and drawings of herself in comic book form, elaborating on Twitter that this was done to prevent her from getting bored with looking at a pickle. She also revealed that she had written a blurb that was printed out to be inserted into the book, which read in part, "Personally, at first, it appeared as such the comparison between Andy Warhol and I was something random and out of left field.
See, what I think Gino should have done, and it's too late to do it now, which is fine, but I think it would have been really interesting to go the gamer from Mars route and have somebody like do the voiceover in a Chris type of voice as long as they were good. Like the guy that gamer from Mars got was very good. Everyone said it was like Boogie, but it definitely wasn't Boogie.
But, on the contrary, as I regaled myself with the history of his life and accomplishments, I have been long aware of his iconic soup can and photographic differing art pieces, but I can appreciate his style being comparable with what I have drawn and written in the past, while
Oh my god, if you don't know what the soup can is here. That most people have probably seen that or some variation of that. I have. Again, I don't know anything about Andy Warhol really, but yeah, comparing that iconic picture and I don't know what movies he's done or whatever. Yeah, comparing that with Christian. I mean, it's in a weird way, like Christian being as infamous as they are is kind of I assume like a lot of people know who Andy Warhol is, right? Like clearly very big name. I didn't. It was a little bit before my time. But like if you flip it, the people that know Andy Warhol probably aren't aware of Christian. And the people that are keeping up with Christian, such as myself, probably aren't aware of Andy Warhol as much as, I should be. It it's weirdly like got a symmetry to it.
well, oh my me, I would not open such a factory as Andy had. He did what he did in order to explore for himself within his own personal limitations at the time.
Sure.
I feel, personality-wise, the like characteristics and qualities are there between us. But, to take it to heart, I am more extroverted. I like to be touched, and I have beyond spiritually healed myself. Agreed, had he been more self-aware of that within the deepest of depths in his personal core and soul, he could have done a lot more for himself. As I do state the same about myself once upon a time, back as early as 1998 and before then, but I digress. I personally raise a freshly brewed cup of rainbow chakra.
I'm not a fan of when people say that. I think oh fuck. There's a Let's Player YouTuber that would always say that. I wonder if he's still around. He was like a huge Let's Player. He'd always say, but I digress. I don't know. started to bother me after a while. It's stupid. Now everyone's going to be like, oh, I digress. Well, they would be if anyone was here, but fair enough.
tea in a loving toast to Andrew Warhola. And I am most
Warhola.
humbled to be compared with such an
Warhola.
avant-garde and unique artist and soul as he.
You gotta love the artists.
Thank you, Andy, for your greatest of contributions to this universe. Finally, she ranted for 20 tweets about
here we
past trolls that had tricked her. She wrote in part, "Did any one of them, or you all in that similar light, think to genuinely be good with me for an extended time in order to actually learn and experience me on massive extension?"
Did any... Here, we're gonna put on some background music here. Did any one of them, or... Here, let's see what the first...
Did any one of
hold
them,
on.
or you... Finally, she ranted for
Okay.
20 tweets.
Okay, here's a brain bender for all of you. No judgment, but considering a number of individuals in the past have sought out... I think that O should be an A. That have sought doing the kind of thing... Okay, number of individuals that have sought doing the kind of things for and with me to seek favor and praise from me. They think... Wait, what? They think the trolls were trying to seek favor and praise from them?
Tweets about past trolls.
And the number of past online X's... Okay, I don't know what that's supposed to be. X's? Anyway, fakers who played with me in relationships for a time. Okay.
That had tricked her. She wrote in part, "Did any one of them, or you all in that similar light, think to genuinely be good with me for an extended time in order to actually learn and experience me on massive extension? How could..."
What? Did any one of them, or you all in that similar light, think to be genuinely good with me for an extended time in order to learn? Okay, so they're saying, did y'all ever even, like, think to learn from them, I guess is what I'm getting? No, of course not. They wanted to fuck with you. They never thought that. Like, ever.
in order to actually learn and experience me on massive extension? How could everyone who could have, while they had the opportunity, not think to actually continue on with me and offer more content than Lois Lane is with Superman?
What the fuck? What the...
Extended time in order to actually learn and experience me on massive extension.
This is not an invitation to start. Okay. And now after some time, since whenever the hell in this universe I ranted online, I'm going to put forward a rant I feel now is appropriate since I brought up the question. Sure. How could everyone who could have, while they had the opportunity, not think to actually continue?
How could everyone who could have, while they had the opportunity, not think to actually continue on with me and offer more content than Lois Lane is with Superman?
What the fuck does that... What?
Not just the thoughts and musings I would privately have and confide, but the entire experience of being with me, feeling my aura of energy, and even supporting me while I supported them the best I could have. But no! All they thought of was, how could I take advantage of Chris's heavy heart and overabundance of kindness and love? How can I toy and mess with him, emotionally and mentally more so than the bastard already had? And, indeed, to take it a step further, let's talk about that sex, or genuine lack thereof.
So they didn't want the pickle on the front of the book because it reminded them of sexual stuff, and then they're like, oh, I don't want that, but then this is like half of the shit that they're saying. Fair enough.
Oh, I don't want to
I say fair
contract
enough
anything
a lot.
with Chris and his overweighted belly and butt. I know, I'll play call girl with him and shit his rocks off by his own hands, embarrassing him in front of his own...
Ooh, that's a good euphemism. Shit his rocks off by his own hands. Okay. For the lulz.
of his own dad. For the lulz! Catherine Sorrentino had a closer vantage point to get that mark. that those before her were afraid to ever venture to. The actual intercourse. Everyone had the opportunity, even Emily and Casey, since they actually met
Yeah, sure.
me in person, to yank me along and claim the V card before April 2012. Oh, sure, I'll bang rocks with him from
What is with rocks? What is happening?
massive distance from in front of my computer, but I'll never go and play crying game and farther by shoving my cock up his
Man, shit like that, it'll just sneak up on you.
ass. Also, haters, let's get Vivi to hack his website and post gay porn ads all over it. That'll really warp his fragile mind.
Kinda did.
Everyone had their chance to actually have me, but they didn't, leaving being remainingly satisfied with just imagining their penises up my ass, or
Let me process this for half a second. Okay.
my penis up their asses and vaginas and coming on their chests and faces.
Oh my god, it keeps
or
going.
even post-2015, having the idea of, I know, I'll pay for Christine's gender reassignment, vouch for a donor uterus and ovaries, so she can still conceive, even though she could never lose her sperm sac.
That's not... I'm pretty sure you can't do a uterus and ovary implant. I'm like 99% sure, but I don't know.
Or what's left of it.
Never looked into it.
Oh yes, I'm gonna ram her so hard up her pussy, she'll hardly feel anything after I'm
That's the one that they tried
done
to
with
carve
her.
with the
And
butcher
even
knife
with
that
other
got
women
infected.
wanting to feel up my vagina and using a double-sided dildo or whatever they privately please.
Sure.
I can go on.
No, please do not. Do not do that.
On the one hand,
they're gonna do
I
it.
am, however, most grateful that the majority is genuinely a lot better than that. I actually am
It's
proud
not
of you all
genuinely,
for not
right?
taking advantage of me like that at all. It demonstrates that this world is mostly kind-hearted and compassionate and moved on from the stereotypes of yesterdecade.
Yeah, that's what they are. They're kind-hearted to not take advantage of you, despite the fact that you know that they would have done it in like a nanosecond, but whatever.
On the other hand, my body has
And
not
it
had
still
it as
would.
easy as I in my interdimensional travels, since I've had to astral project and leave it with its backup systems keeping it in check and safety.
It's
My
tough.
body is sexually over-inexperienced and starved. That, in itself, counter-demonstrates
That's an interesting word. Sorry I keep pausing. It is reaction though. My body is sexually over inexperienced. That's like giving the term inexperience a quantity and you gain more of it. That's an interesting thing, I guess. I've never heard of that or even ever thought I would contemplate that. That's a
that on this side of the Iron Curtain, not even one genuine, authentic, enlightened individual with a similar aura to mine exists. Magichan,
God.
Crizel, Sylvana, and Mewtwo would not have minded a sixth in our polyamorous relationship who was born of here. Just gonna let that sink in for all of you who had considered over the years. I'm finished with this rant. Thank you for listening. I will also state I have no regrets in sharing this with all of you. I feel this is a major truth.
That right there is the problem. I have no regrets in sharing this with them. I mean, I don't know. I've kind of, the past 5 or so years taken this I don't really give a fuck attitude. So, I mean, in a weird way, I don't know. Like, I mean, it's fine, I guess. They have no regrets, so whatever. Maybe this is an argument to have a filter before you say shit.
You all need to hear. I can hear the thoughts of retarded faggot and get a job.
The internet is humanity's greatest creation. I think that goes without saying. And we We just use it to call people that the pinnacle of humankind, to call each other that word.
Already amongst all of
Words.
you in response. But I also hear the remaining responses that are actually kind and empathetic with the situation and bunch of emotions amongst the majority of the world. Smiling face with smiling eyes. Lightning bolt, blue heart, lightning bolt emojis.
Lightning bolt. What? The lightning is like
On May
for the Sonichu?
Christine explained that even though she was still reading the book and was invested in it, she criticized Lasham for calling her beliefs delusions, as all fictional characters truly existed and coexisted, blaming the people's inability to see them on the universe-dividing barrier that
of course. Wait. They're angry. I just read a few parts. Just read parts 4 to 6 in the disclaimer chapter 0. It's quite fair. I'm invested. Yeah, right. They're not delusions and all that. Is he still talking about the Andy Warhol book? I'm actually kind of confused on that. I'm pretty sure
was created in the 1300s.
Okay.
Also on that day, Chris wrote a review for Warhol Christian on the book's publishing site, Amazon.com, writing that it was an illustrious honor to be compared with another great and unique artist, such as Warhol, leaving a 5-star review. She then had a private chat with author.
Shit. Alright. Constantly misgenders and mocks mentally ill trans women. God, that's such a gray area with Chris. Because, like, I have no problem with trans people. I don't give a fuck what people do. But I've heard people from the trans communities, like, disavow them. Because, I don't know. We also watched the Keffels thing. I don't know. I should abstain from saying anything about that. I'm not like, kind of entrenched in this lore at this point.
Such as Warhol, leaving a 5-star review. She then had a private chat with author Don Lasham, during which he disclosed the Warhol-designed album cover that was the inspiration for the pickle illustration, which was originally created by a Reddit user who gave permission for it to be used on the cover. This led Chris to explore the Velvet Underground and Nico album, with Don personally singling out the track I'll Be Your Mirror as a...
What the fuck are they talking about? Like, I've lost a whole thread of the plot. Y'all, I talked a bit with Don Lasham, the author of the Warhol Christian thing. Learned a fun fact about the original cover art, aside from the obvious meme reference and the Pickle Man, throwback Pickle Rick for good measure. Throw in Pickle. That's so fucking weird. That is entered the, like, the collective conscious Pickle. I mean, it's funny, sure, I guess. They're kind of got a little bit of a like lucidity here and calling it a meme.
Lasham, during which he disclosed the Warhol-designed album cover that was the inspiration for the pickle illustration, which was originally created by a...
Okay, well, that's curious. Apparently some experts are comparing me with Andy Warhol, although I do wish they had picked something other than a pickle for the cover. That is so funny to me. Alright. So then he started talking about weird
user
shit.
Who gave permission for it to be used on the cover. This...
Let me get it straight. A Reddit user made the pickle thing, so they got permission to use it on this book. Right?
Led Chris to explore the Velvet Underground.
What the fuck is the Velvet Underground? Like, we went from a pickle cover. And I know many. This is just like so random. Cover art was okay. This pickle art was inspired by the banana. Okay. Andy drew for Velvet Underground's album. I don't know who Velvet Underground is. I guess that's my fault.
For it to be used on the cover. This led Chris to explore the Velvet Underground and Nico album, with Don personally singling...
I see. So the Velvet Underground, a band again, sure. That was the, okay, that was the cover. Why though? I don't know. I don't know what the relationship between Andy Warhol and this Velvet Underground thing is.
out the track I'll Be Your Mirror as a particularly notable song
kinda
which
following it
resonated
now.
with her and inspired her to perform
Ooh.
for a YouTube video uploaded that day.
What is the deal with this? I know it's a Sonic 2 medallion, and it just progressively gets worse. It's kind of like just a deteriorating thing. It's actually kind of following the arc of Christian, just getting more and more whatever. But I want to know what the middle thing is. I've seen it quite a bit. I think this is the first time that we've seen it specifically in this Geno Samuel thing. I have no idea what the hell that is.
Heal and love yourself.
Oh, here we go.
Forgive our mutual flaws. Heal and love yourself. Forgive our mutual flaws.
Beautiful.
I'll be your mirror. Reflect what you are.
Dude.
In case you don't know, I'll be the wind, the rain, and the sunset, the light on your door to show that you're home.
So bad.
Please
It's
put
so
your
bad.
hands down,
Holy shit.
'cause I see you. I've got it mind, body, and soul. Don't follow the past, follow the present. I'll be your mirror.
Kill me now.
I'll be your mirror. I'll be your mirror.
Please make it end. Oh my god. 4 minutes of this.
I'll be your mirror.
Don't do that.
On June 1st, Christine announced that her and Prater would be selling her so-called meditation stones on Etsy at a reduced price of $20, with the chance of one person also receiving a signed copy of the book Warhol Christian.
That's a steal.
Later that day, upon reading further into the book, she went back to Twitter to write as her child self, Christopher. He stated that he first started talking at only a few weeks old. He recalled the time his babysitter...
What the fuck is happening? Hi everyone, my name is Christopher, or Chris for short. I'm feeling uncomfortable and nervous talking like this. I've never been so observant over the years. As Christina said, my view is on the youthful side. I've had some friends way back when. My closest friends were Sarah and Josh. I spoke for a while, My closest friends were Sarah and Josh. I spoke for a while, only a few weeks old. This is true. The fuck does that mean? I remember Mom and I were at the best store that day, and I spoke to her. I came into this world with the memories of my past life with Merlin, but other stuff became more important.
She went back to Twitter to write as her child self, Christopher. He stated that he first started talking at only a few weeks old. He recalled the time his babysitter got upset with him and locked.
I also remember shouting as I was playing. They started fading it out. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Fantastic. I also remember shouting as I was playing that day when the babysitter got really upset and locked me in that room. Oh yeah, that's like super early. I had no one to talk with, just the toys in my room. Yeah, okay, that may have been like the seed to blossom into whatever the fuck this is. I did have a friend who came and played with me, my guardian Magichan. He talked to me and told me
with him and locked him in his room, leaving him with no one to talk to, apart from his toys.
Told me stories I had dreams of visiting this large city, one of which is the one where I fled from a tall business building with a baby in my hand. My future daughter, still holding on to that dream. Thought that said cream. Didn't talk too much after that day with the babysitter I was following.
Then Magichan Sonichu came to visit him to tell him stories. Christopher went on to dream of a large city and his baby daughter.
Magichan's example of being telepathic, but apparently not a lot of people were getting my messages. Really? Imagine that. I played a lot with my toys. I read Berenstain. Oh god, are they in the other the other dimension? Fucking Berenstain Bears. I don't even think that's how to spell aside from the A, Baron. I think it's like Beren. Not bear, like whatever. I watched Sesame Street, Care Bears, Transformers, Smurf, Muppet Babies, Sonic the Hedgehog. When he finally came on television, I played my Commodore 64 a lot. I typed in the command in, have the floppy disk with all those games saved on it in the disk drive, and I played whenever I felt like. Played with Sarah. We were neighbors, ran around, tag, hide and seek. Something swing set. We had fun. We played with the other kids in the neighborhood. I also watched Charlie Brown and Snoopy show a lot. Dude, the way that this person's mind works is fascinating. Speech therapy at James Madison University. Had classes with Josh. We went to the kids' castle. That had country fried steak with the right gravy. Can't fault him for that. Love me a good chicken fried steak or country fried steak. Country cooking school, Greene County schools were a lot of time I played in the background and on the computer. There was this fish game that had to do with bigger ones eating the smaller ones. That one scared me when the really big fish came. I think I remember that. Number Munchers was a lot of fun. Oh shit, they're tapping into nostalgia right now. They are tapping into the nostalgia. Number Munchers was a lot of fun. Oregon Trail, Apple versus Commodore. I gotta stick with one I have at home for the better choice. Oh, they're saying Apple Computer versus Commodore, and they're taking sides. Fair enough. I also played with my Transformers figures. I like the Micromaster and Action Master figures. They were within my reach when I became old.
Quickly ran.
Enough. I have a few G2 toys, hardly any G1. We went to a lot of yard sales and flea markets. There was this flea market in the corner where Food Lion now is in Ruckersville. I was always calling it the junkyard. I don't know. I was a kid. What? Like, I don't know what the fuck, like, prompted this.
And through various video games he played and toys he owned, before revealing that he, his mother, and Maggie-chan attended
this awesome teacher, Miss Miller. She got married. My mom and dad and Maggie-chan and I, Christ, went to the reception party before Miss Miller moved to Utah. I liked our principal, Mr. Wade. He was kind and understanding man. Dad worked at the General Electric, the big building not far from here. He had a lot of papers from there. He designed the controls for plastic mills. Okay. Steel mills, salt mills, sawmills, and all that stuff. Mommy... Don't do that. Mommy worked at Virginia Power in finances. She worked on a computer a lot at a desk with these removable walls.
the wedding reception of one of his teachers. He
Right.
then reflected on the work-related accomplishments of his father, Bob, and his mother, Barbara.
Mommy was a real business lady. Daddy was a real businessman. All these words that were one way I could get. All these words that were one way I could get a bunch of times over in my head. The fuck does that mean? Grown-up words to an extent were tough on a youthful mind depending on how old the soul within is, and I was really old and beyond grown up. Right. Autism really kept me feeling frustrated and overwhelmed, but I still had my thoughts and ideas and things. I read and look at pictures. I turned on the closed captions when they were available on the TV. Dad and I sometimes watched Nick at Night when he let me stay up late. So it's kind of interesting because, like, I'm in the same kind of realm that they are as far as, like, generation-wise.
He then singled out certain teachers allegedly responsible for pinning him down to the ground in school, supposedly because of his autism. It made him
Get Smart, yay, Don Adams. I like the RCA video disc player. Those were those vinyl DVDs we had in those hard plastic cases. They're not vinyl DVDs. I believe that's Laserdisc that they're talking about. Anyway, I put records on the turntables. They can break if you're not careful. Darkwing Duck is really cool. I did not like 4th grade. It sucked. Pinned down by those mean teachers, Miss Blank. Why? Why'd you pin me down with them? Why'd you hurt me? Did autism really confound you? I had a crush on Tiffany Robinson, though. She was a really pretty girl. She lived somewhere else, though, somewhere beyond.
sad because he was apparently thusly forced out of school and made to be homeschooled for 5th grade. He reflected that the move to Richmond to continue his studies turned out for the better because he soon after won the Sonic the Hedgehog Watch and Win sweep.
Right there. That is like ground zero for the publicness of Chris Chan. Right fucking there.
sweepstakes and had a good day buying games and Zords. Christopher closed by stating he was feeling drained and would so return Christine control of her body. When she returned, Chris elaborated that while reading chapter 5 of the book, she felt she had to check in with her inner child to address any issues of the past that remained unresolved. She discovered that her mother Barbara was a prolific hoarder, especially of cloth and clothing, for she was an efficient seamstress who could make dresses for herself since a young age. Chris claimed that they had cleared out 75% of the hoard, with the supposed help of her friend Anna McLaren, who played a part in convincing and supporting Barbara in cleaning out her belongings.
You know what else cleared out that hoard? The fire that they started from making coffee on the floor in a bathroom.
Chris then begged for Null to quote-unquote rescind his threats against Anna, which he sent after she refused to help Christine while she was being extorted and manipulated by the Idea guys. Chris claimed Anna would never bad-talk Null or prevent her from talking with him.
I don't know
Chris
who
closed
Anna
by
is.
stating her intention to read that section of the book to Barbara to help make her realize what positive changes could be done in order to clean up more space in the house.
What the fuck?
In her seemingly ever uncertain life, Christine reflected on her past and present in an effort to find her future, utilizing any and all spiritual and New Age means she could find. While believing herself a guide and a source of wisdom, she was but a blind follower, accepting any outcome given, allowing her thoughts be altered by players working from the very same playbook that others used so many years before.
Oh, we're regressing back to the Super Trolls. See, this is all like brand new to me. Yeah. We're getting to the point where all this shit is catching up. I would very much like to be in Geno Samuel's place right now because they're gonna have content probably, well, if Chris doesn't get thrown in jail again, they're gonna have perpetual content. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Good decision. So at this point, he's like a documentary, but it's gonna be, I guess it'll still be a documentary, but it's gonna be more in line, like whenever they catch up with present day, it's gonna be like covering the news or some shit. God damn. I wonder, Kiwi Farms got taken down. I don't know about that Quickville thing. I wonder how these trolls, well, I guess Discord is kind of their new meeting place, right? What is this? Sonochu Psychology? They're like in channels, whole fucking channels dedicated to like to the fucking stupid fictional characters and the psychology of Christian. That's amazing. That is amazing to me. Anyway, I think I'm gonna go get something to eat. I will be back in a little while. So nobody was here. It's fine. Normal Evenglare night. But yeah, I will be back in a little